Amazon register is already red. If this goes on, I'm done for. No way.
Kept you waiting, huh?
What do you want from me?
Sorry to keep you waiting. I had some unfinished business.
Do you think you can't get away with this?
I can. But can you?
You left me no choice!
Very well. Two can play on that game. Prepare for pain. Amazon.
Alpha. Omega.
Good day, ladies and gents. Saga here. Before we begin this particular review, I only recommend you, ladies and gents, to only support official releases like toys, figurines, and even video games. And even though that this may not be an official product, I gotta say, well, it's a good bootleg for all it's worth. This is the bootleg Amazon's driver, and for those who are wondering, it's actually it's basically the bootleg version of the CSM version, because as far as I know, the DX one only has one specific plate that you can actually flip to switch between Omega and Alpha, but here it is. This is the bootleg driver, and I gotta say, for a bootleg, this is tons of fun. As you can probably see on this packaging right here, this is basically a pre-owned. I bought this from someone off of Facebook, and yeah, these are just originally black boxes with, I think one of them has the logo of Alpha here, but they've since the user have since used the other stickers to to decorate the box. So yeah, this is basically these things. I recently did a sneak peek of this, but it's not an actual review, so this time we're going to unveil this thing on a review. And the dog is barking again. Ugh. No worries, no dogs and other living beings are harmed in the making of this video. So, let's do it. Let's open this thing up, because this thing contains several things. Or at least the main event, which is the Amazon's driver. Although the packaged faceplate here, yeah, well, I'm gonna discuss about it later, is the Alpha one, but I honestly prefer the Omega one because, you know, he's the main. Omega is the one used by the main character, so there's that. And just take a look at how detailed this thing is. Sure, it's kind of missing some details probably from the official one. I honestly don't have the official one to compare, but I think that this is a bootleg of the CSM version. Oh, dang it, I think it's gonna rain. The interesting part about this particular bootleg is that originally it doesn't have the official driver sounds. However, there's this slot here that where you will allow yourself to insert a chip that gives you access to the official driver sounds, which is quite insane if you ask me. And I am not gonna attempt to remove this thing because that chip is so small that if you lose it, well, you're gonna get stuck with generic sounds, and you don't want that. So, here's the driver. And this thing right here, that thing right there, that is the on switch. So, let's turn it off. Oh, just look at them. Just look how menacing it is when you activate it. And you just twist the lever here to Henshin. Amazon! And unlike traditional Kamen Riders, they don't say Henshin, but instead Amazon. Which is pretty interesting if you ask me, and that's what makes Amazon unique in some way. Yeah, we also have, you know, the standard belts right here. And I don't know if they actually ripped off the DX one or the CSM one, but either way, these are good quality belts and actually works well with belt extenders. It doesn't slip off right away, unlike my Xade one. Unlike using it on the Xade buckle, the gamer driver, and this is the buckle of this thing. Pretty good stuff. I like the fact that this thing right here is basically staring to your soul. Okay, now that's out of the way. Now let's unveil the second box, because this thing right here has some interesting goodies inside. It basically supplements the experience with the driver itself. So let's put them here for a while, just to make sure it doesn't fall, and unveil what's inside this thing. Because, alright, this thing right here, as you saw in my previous video, this is not the only faceplate of this thing. It not just contains one, not two, not three, but 4 faceplates. We got the clear eyes version, which is just basically simulate the effect of the henshin in the show, just to make sure it becomes show accurate. This is the Sigma plate, although the one that I bought has a little bit of a dent over here, but that doesn't really matter because I'm not really using it that much. And the Alpha one, which is actually the default plate inserted on the bootleg. Although the DX one only has a clear one, which allows you to flip it like this and then insert it on the driver itself. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. Also, we got this small blade right here, which I will discuss later. And of course, the Amazon register. This is the tool that the Amazons use in order for them to, to keep their hunger in check. Let's try this out first. If it glows red in lore, that means that you're out of relaxant and you're going to go berserk. However, if it is blue, that means that, it still has a relaxant and allows your Amazon tendencies, or rather cravings, to be satiated or rather suppressed. And it also, tracks where Amazons are based on the lore itself. Although the official one has a rubber wrapping, which is, I don't think it fares better, but now that's out of the way. That's all there much to it about the Amazon's driver, but let's put this in action, shall we? While also showing off the 4 faceplates, because actually mixing and matching them, or rather alternating with them, is actually pretty fun. So, again, you turn this on. And then you twist the lever here. This is Omega. Let's put it near the mic. I like the fact that the Amazon driver itself has a very, regurgitating and very organic voice, unlike, the mechanical and the fantastical nature of traditional henshin belts like X8 or Sabers. But this thing, it's more organic and more visceral compared to the traditional drivers. So, if it's active, you can press this again. You can twist the lever again here in order for you to perform a special attack. Here is for Omega. It also has a sound effect that depicts the attack itself and how violent it is, just like in the show. Each plate has 2 attacks, actually. The first one is Violent Punish, and the other one is which I think is the standard rider kick for Amazons. Okay, so what's interesting about here is that this thing right here, you cannot twist it, but you can actually detach it and use this blade right here. You insert this thing, it's basically Amazon's weapon. Although the official release has not only this, but also a sickle, which actually adds more playability to this side right here. And what's interesting is that after you remove this lever here, the attack for twisting the lever here is a lot more different. Yeah, it's violent break this time. And the sound effect that is heard here is basically the stabbing action of this, which is pretty visceral and very fitting to the show. So, yeah. And when you're done with this dinky little blade, or rather knife, although I prefer to call it a blade, you can insert this here, and then it's back to normal. How about we try removing this thing, and let's see how it goes. Whoa! Man, it's so creepy, but that's the beauty of it. It kind of reminds me of the 1974, or rather, yeah, the original Amazon driver. It has a very big eye with similar handlebars here. Let's try inserting it with the other plate. So let's try first the clear one. Right here. Yeah. Am I doing it correctly? I think I'm not doing it correctly. This is the difficult part of the driver itself. It sometimes it doesn't fit right away. Once you insert the new faceplate, the standby sound activates again. And this faceplate right here kind of replicates the actual transformation, which involves lights glowing into the veins of the eyes of the driver itself, giving a more organic feel to it. And don't bother with the sounds because it's kind of similar to this thing. It's just it has clear eyes. Okay, let's try adding let's try replacing another faceplate here. Let's try the alpha one this time. And then, ooh, it's green! Pretty visceral stuff. And unlike the reds here, this one right here is a lot more pleasing to the eyes because it's green. What's interesting is that it has different set of attacks, and to make it, distinct to Omega right here. It has Violent Slash as well as, yeah, it also has Violent Strike. Basically, the first one is basically its signature move to make it more distinctive, to make it more distinct to Amazon Omega, to make it different, at the very least. Let's try removing this and see how it goes. Whoa! Creepy. Let's insert it again. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be very precise in actually inserting the faceplates because you do not want to break them when you're trying to insert the silly thing. You know what? Let's just move on to the next plate. Being the Sigma one. This time it's purple. Although the only thing that is actually off-putting about it is basically that dent over there. I mean, to be fair, it's a pre-owned bootleg, so I can't really complain that much. So the alpha driver, the Amazon's Omega is wielded by Haruka Mizusawa, the main character. The alpha one is wielded by Jin, who is the secondary central character. And this thing right here is wielded by Maihara, which is one of Mamoru's friends, who, you know, died and then killed by an Amazon and then, you know, revived as some sort of a project or something, and then they gave him this. This is actually the driver for Maihara. Oh. So it goes to Violent Strike first, and then... So basically, Violent Strike is his signature move first, I think? Because it's the one that plays first? Although seriously, I haven't watched Amazons yet. And if you could recommend me to it, where can I even watch it outside, you know, Amazon Prime Japan? Because... But even so, support the official release. It'll definitely do you favors. So yeah, all in all, the Amazon's driver itself, even though that it's a bootleg, is basically one of the easiest ones to play because, well, you really don't have to worry too much about, you know, collectible gimmicks, because the only gimmicks around here is basically this, the weapons themselves, and the face plates. It doesn't have, you know, like a bajillion gimmicks for you to worry about, you know, like, you know, the gashots and all this medals and even the Jiku drivers, ride watches, and oh, by the way, for those who are wondering, they just recently released, you know, ride watches for the Showa riders, you know, including Ichigo and all. I mean, keep in mind that the Zico driver was released in the 2018, back in the heyday of Kamen Rider Zio. And who would have thought that, you know, it's and they're still releasing rider watches today. But besides the point, I have to say that the Amazon's driver right here, even though it's a bootleg, is very fun to play despite the limited gimmicks. And considering that the characters there only uses casual clothes, it's very easy to use for cosplay purposes. I mean, this is basically the reason why I bought the Amazon's this bootleg Amazon's driver in the first place, because as I've said before, the original ones, the DX versions and the CSM ones are very, very expensive and kind of hard to find nowadays. Because I mean, you know, come on, it's a CSM. Well, like, people are gonna be collecting them like left and right. And although the original Amazon driver in 1974, that one is even rarer. But even so, this thing right here, even though it's a bootleg, very fun to play. It has very simple gimmicks, and it really has some very good build quality to it. I mean, this thing right here, the belt itself actually works well with aftermarket belt extenders, making it super playable. I am not supporting bootlegs. I'm just here to, you know, remind you that the Amazon's driver itself is fun to play, but I suggest that you support the official release, because not only that it has a better build quality, but you don't need to go through extra hoops just for you to relish the full experience. Like, for instance, like, you know, the chip system here. You don't have to deal with that with the official release. But if you are a cheapskate, and if you really don't have much an allowance for you to do stuff and to ensure, you know, you want to enjoy this particular driver without spending too much money, then I really recommend, with a question mark, to, you know, to get the bootleg. Like I've said, I am not endorsing bootlegs here. I'm not endorsing you to support bootlegs. It's just, if you really cannot find any other options, well, I really cannot blame you if you ended up buying this anyway. But still, if you can afford the official release, please do so. Thank me later.
So, what do you think of the belt?
Snug? Oh, it's just detached, but it's snug. Don't be fooled by its elastic detachments. It will attach.
But other than that,
it's a very motorcycle-ish tool, you might say. Might become a human motorcycle or something. But I guess that's their theme, so I'll respect it.
I have to admit, for being a bootleg, it has good build quality.
Yeah, very good quality, and plastic is okay, labor is okay. Yeah, it's good for a bootleg.
Please support the official release.
Finally, to deactivate the driver itself, you either just wait for a few seconds, or if you want a faster approach, then you should actually twist this knob here for a few seconds and it deactivates. Although you can just, turn it off directly and you're gonna be able to do that no problem.